My name is Pam Madala, and welcome to Living Well Seminars. Tonight we're going to talk about bread. We all love bread, right? And did you know that nearly 12 million loaves of bread are made and sold every single day? Now, when you go to the store, this is what it looks like when you go to the store aisles, right? You've got all these shelves of bread. Lots and lots of bread. So the question is, first, how do I know what bread I should pick? If I'm going to make my bread at home, I know what I'm doing, but I know what's in the bread. But if I'm buying it at the store and I've got all of these to choose from, how do I know what is a good bread or what is a poor bread? If you look on the bread container, on the front of the bread it'll say all these wonderful things. This is the best bread. You need to buy me. I'm fortified. I've got this. I've got that. You should never look at the front of the package. The front of the package does not give you the whole truth. What you want to do is turn it to the back of the package and look at the ingredient list. I'm going to read to you some of the ingredients of some of the loaves of bread that I took pictures of. Now, this one is Rainbow. Everybody knows the Rainbow brand. In this brand, the ingredients start with enriched white flour. What does that mean, enriched? It may sound pretty good. In fact, most people will say, it's got to be good, it's enriched. But in fact, what it means is they take the wheat berry and they strip it. And then they only take the inner core of it and use that, but they enrich it by putting back other products to make it better. Why don't they just leave the whole product in itself instead of taking it all apart? And I'll tell you, some of the reasons is because some of the products that they put back in is to make the bread last longer on the shelves. It's preservatives. So I'm going to read you some of this information of the ingredients in this product. And I didn't pick it because it was anything in particular. It was just an easy one that I could read. You want to really look at the first 5 ingredients because the first 5 ingredients are the most of what is in this product. So enriched wheat flour, that is flour, malted barley flour, reduced iron, niacin, thiamine, monocitrate, that's vitamin B1, riboflavin, that's vitamin B2, folic acid. Okay, that's all in the first ingredient of the flour. Number 2 ingredient is water. Water's good. We all like water. We know we need to have lots of water every day. Number 3 ingredient is sugar. Sugar is not a very good product that we want to put back into our body, especially when we know that the flour, once it's metabolized in our system, it's going to turn into sugar. So now we're adding more sugar because it tastes good. The next one is cellulose fiber. Well, fiber is important. We need the fiber. The fiber cleans us out. And then it goes on from there. In the next one, we have Wonder Bread. And in the Wonder Bread ingredients, again, it says unbleached enriched wheat, unbleached enriched flour. Unbleached, because the other one was bleached, probably, it didn't say that it was bleached, but it was a white bread. So Wonder Bread, this one is also a white bread, but it is unbleached enriched flour. So it's wheat flour, malted barley flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, riboflavin, folic acid, water. Oh, and then this one has high fructose corn syrup. That, whenever you see high fructose corn syrup on any ingredient list, you put it back. Don't even take it, because that's an automatic fat. That turns into fat and doesn't go away for a long time. So, and also if you look on the ingredient list, if the ingredient list is 25, 30 ingredients, put it back. We probably don't even know what half of those ingredients are. It's very scary. Okay, and then we have, okay, so I have one here that's sourdough bread. Sourdough bread, they say, is supposed to be a pretty good bread for us. However, I do know that the best breads for us is going to be your sprouted bread. If it says sprouted, then that's going to be your best bread. The second best bread is going to be your 100% whole wheat. Not just whole wheat bread, but it's got to be, say, 100% whole wheat bread. On this sourdough bread, the ingredients are unbleached, enriched wheat flour, and again, it's all those different flours that are put together, water, salt, and cultured wheat flour. Okay, that's in the sourdough. We have Oro wheat. This is a healthy multigrain. Multigrain sounds pretty good too, right? Ingredients are whole wheat flour, that's good. Water, that's a second ingredient. 3 is wheat gluten. 4 is sugar. We've got that sugar in there again. Bulgur wheat, cellulose fiber, flaxseed. We like flaxseed. Flaxseed's great for us. Flaxseed is a great antioxidant. And then it has poppy seeds and stevia leaf, which is a sweetener. It's a natural sweetener. So that Oro wheat doesn't sound too bad. Now here's another one that I have never seen before. Let's see if I can get this one up here. It's called Dave's Killer Bread. I've never seen that before. And it's thin sliced. It is a power seed. In this, the ingredients are, water is the #1 ingredient. Organic whole wheat flour, organic cracked whole wheat, organic fruit juices, and it goes on, sunflower seeds, fiber, lots and lots of different kind of seeds. So that actually sounds like it's pretty good. No matter what, first thing you want to do, like I said, you want to go back and you want to read the ingredients. If it has ingredients that you don't know what it's talking about, put it back, because it probably won't be any good for us. Now, the other thing that you want to do when you're going to the store is you're looking at these shelves full of bread, and you're saying, okay, so besides, okay, which one am I going to pick? Like I said, the first thing you're going to do is look at the ingredients. But the second thing you want to do is you want to figure out which bread has been brought in today, because the shelves are restocked every single day. And these are some of the ways that they close the bread packaging up. Remember, you see these? They're different colors. And you look at them and say, so what do these mean? Well, actually, it's pretty easy. If you notice, the blue is Monday, green is Tuesday, red is Wednesday, white is Thursday, and yellow is Friday. And the same, it doesn't matter which ties that they use, it's going to be the same. And then you say, okay, so how do I remember what day is what? Well, it's actually pretty ingenious how they came up with this, because it's in alphabetical order. And I don't know about you, but I like organization. And so these are really organized. I thought whoever came up with this idea really did think this through. Very good idea. So it's in alphabetical order. So B is blue, G is green, R is red, W white, yellow is Y. So that's alphabetical order. So if you're at the store and it's Wednesday and you're trying to think, okay, which one is it? Then you know it's B, G, or blue, green, red, white, and yellow. It's in alphabetical order. So easy. So you can pick through and look for, if it's Wednesday, you look for the red tag. And you know, this is the freshest one. This is the one I'm going to put, that I'm going to take home. So I think that was a great idea. So in conclusion, when I'm going to the store to pick up any item, but especially bread, because we are talking about bread, this is what I do. And I'm not suggesting that this is something that you should do, but this is what I do. When advancing down any of the aisles, I look for the products that I want. So if we're going down the bread aisle, I know that I want to look for the brown bread. I know I don't want a white bread. I want a brown bread. So I'm going to go towards a brown bread. When I get there, then I pick up a loaf, and I don't look at the front, because again, I don't trust what they say on the front of the loaf. I turn it over and I go immediately to the ingredients. I look at the ingredient list. If the ingredient list is 20 or 30 different or more ingredients, I'm going to put it back, because I don't trust when you have that many ingredients in a product, especially bread. I don't know if they're chemicals, especially if I can't even pronounce some of the words. I don't know what they are. I don't want it. So I put them back. So I look at the ingredients, and then I look for if it's a sprouted product or a whole wheat, whole grain versus enriched. If it's enriched, again, I'm just going to put it back. I don't want it. The next thing that I'm going to look at is the fiber content. For myself, I try to get at least 30 grams of fiber every day. Fiber is so important to our bodies. It's the broom that sweeps your vessels clean. I want to be clean because this is where I want the Lord to live. So, I want lots and lots of fiber. Then I look at the calorie content. If I've got a couple of loaves of bread that are pretty comparable and in ingredients and fiber, then I look at the calories. Whichever one is going to be the least amount of calories, that's probably what I'm going to go after. The next thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to look to see if it's when the bread was put out. I want it to be the freshest bread possible. So again, don't forget your color codes. You want to go with the alphabet. Since I don't eat a lot of the products that are in the markets because of my lifestyle, because of the way I have chosen to eat, there are many products that we don't purchase. We don't buy meat or poultry, dairy, alcohol, candy, sodas, anything like this. So I don't pay attention to prices of the products that I do purchase. Now, when you are at the store, some people don't have the opportunity to do that. There was a time in my life that if I had a $5 bill, that was a lot that I had. So if I had to pick a product that was $5 versus $1, back then I was going to be very careful and go for the $1. So if you are in that situation, and you can't afford the $5, that's okay. You want to look for the products that fit in your price range. And again, you want to look at those ingredients because you want to get the best ingredients for the money that you have. The other thing that you can think about doing is going over to a thrift store and purchasing a bread maker. Making your own bread is very inexpensive. You do have to eat it faster than you do the store brands because the store brand breads have preservatives in it that make the bread last longer. But your bread is very good and you know what you're putting in the bread. But keep in mind that you can pay for it now or you are going to pay for it later, one or the other. The good book, our Bible, Jesus says, don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You don't really own your own body. That's 1 Corinthians 6:19. We want you to be healthy and to be happy. And so now we are going to make bread. I hope that you enjoy it. At the end of this session of the videos, you will find the ingredients for making this bread that we are going to make. Okay, so now we are in Daniela's kitchen and we are going to make bread. This is a lot of fun and I hope you enjoy this as much as we do. We have everything out right in front of us, and with the recipe, I have it right here on the phone. I'm going to tell you exactly what the recipe says. And I'll try and say it kind of slowly so you have time to go back and write it down. If not, you can always rewind and do this again. First of all, we're going to start with flour. And the flour is going to be 18 ounces according to the recipe. So how do you know how much 18 ounces are? You can get a bowl that has 18 ounces, or most of them have 16 ounces. This is one of the devices that has some measuring on it. And so 16 ounces is 2 cups. Now notice on these measuring devices, some of them will say cups, some of them will say ounces, and then on the other side it says liters. Now liters is for liquid, and then the cups and the ounces actually, well, you could use it for liquid or other anyway. So, but for this we want to do 18 ounces. So you want to go 2 cups, and then you use a different measuring device that has 2 ounces. Or you can use a scale, and a scale also will tell you your 18 ounces or whatever else. So you just get your flour in here, put it in the bowl, and then you're going to take your yeast, and this is 1 teaspoon. In the Red Star yeast, in each one of the packets, there is about 2.5 teaspoons, so you won't want to use the whole thing unless you double the recipe. But otherwise, you want to use 1 teaspoon of the dry yeast, which we're going to just go ahead and dump in there. Then we're going to take 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is salt, and it's pink, so it's pretty. And we'll just put that in there as well. The next one is sugar. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of sugar, and just put that in there. And we're just going to mix that up a little bit. Now, when you're mixing, there's all kinds of mixing devices that you can use, lots of fun stuff. You can, this one, you can use as your mixer, and we'll use this later on when we're mixing everything up to make our dough. Or you can use this fun device, and it just, you know, mixes everything up. It's kind of like a whisk. It's kind of like, I like to to have fun stuff. And then, of course, according to the recipe, it says to use a good old fork. So if you don't have these devices, it's okay. A fork is good. The regular whisks, you know, the ones that are kind of loopy, I don't really like those because the dough gets stuck in there. So that isn't any fun. So you want to, in the large bowl, you put them all together and you mix it just like that. And then, and it doesn't take a whole lot, just mix it up. Okay, so we've got our flour there. And then you want to take your water. And you want your water to be 110 degrees. So use your thermometer. Candy thermometer works really well. So you want to use that. And then you want 13 ounces of warm water, 110 degrees. And you can use that on your scale or use your measuring device as well. You're going to take 2 tablespoons of extra virgin oil, olive oil, pardon me. And just because we don't want to waste any of it that's in the cup, we're going to pour some water in there. And then with that, it says to add it all at one time. So I'm just going to dump that in there and the rest of the water, and we've got that poured in there. Okay, now we're going to use the fun device, right? And we're going to mix it all up. It doesn't take a whole lot of mixing. But let me read to you what the recipe says. It says to pour it in all at one time and use your fork so that the water is all absorbed. And you can see here that the water is pretty well all absorbed, but you want to go down into the flour and make sure it's all mixed. And the one thing about using yeast is that, and if you're going to knead, that's where you're going to get your muscles. So it's, if you've noticed that your arms are not as strong as they used to be, or that you need more muscles and less flab, making bread is a really good thing if you're going to knead. But this bread that we are making today is called a no-knead bread. So you won't need to have to work on the muscles as much. Okay, so we've got the flour is all put together, and then you're going to just put it aside. And you're going to let it just, and you do this at night, so that the next morning we're ready to do the next part. So this is the first step. You set it aside, leave it for 8-9 hours while you're sleeping, because that's the best amount of rest, right? We need to get a good 8 hours worth of sleep every single night so our bodies can regenerate, right? Okay, we'll be back in just a minute with the next step. Okay, we are back, and we're going to now take the dough that we made, and this is what it looks like now. It looks kind of really sticky and glumpy, but that's the way we want it. And one thing that I forgot to tell you was that when we put the water in it and we started mixing it, before you leave it for the whole 9 hours, you're going to cover it with a nice clean towel. And in the winter time especially, you want to make sure it's in a warm place. In the summertime, if it's really hot in the house, then that's a warm place. But it needs to be in a warm place. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And now you want to, as I said, this is really sticky. So we're going to take and of course you're going to wash your hands before, and I did that. And then we're going to just put some flour on our hands. And I want to go back and tell you that when you are using the flour, today we're just using straight white flour. But normally when I am cooking, or baking bread or any other product that uses flour, I use half wheat and half white. So you can do whatever you want. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're just going to flop it out, if it's going to flop, okay? And if it doesn't, oh, there it goes, okay? And then you have one of these handy dandy little scrapers, and you can get all of it out of inside. Just scrape it. And these work really, really well. They're very, very nice. So just scrape it all out. See, we've got most of it out. And again, it's very sticky, so you want to make sure you've got lots of flour in your hand. Okay, this is a no-knead bread. So we are not going to get mussels from this bread. What we're going to do is we're going to fold it over 4 times from each direction, and then we'll go from there. So I've got the flour on my hands, and I'm going to need more flour because this is definitely not enough. It's really, really sticky. So we fold it once, we fold it twice, fold it 3 times, and we fold it 4 times. And that's all you need to do, 4 times. Very simple. Then you've got this blob here, and you're going to get your pan. Now you can use any really kind of pan you want. If you want a round bread loaf, you use a round pan. If you have a silicone pan, the silicone bread pan or any other kind of pan, the silicone one comes out very easily. It just flops right out. This is a non-stick pan, so the bread won't stick to the sides. However, we decided that we still want to use some parchment paper in here so it'll come out easier. So we're going to just pick it up, and we got to make sure that the bread is there. We're going to pick it up and put it inside. Okay, and you can see that it's molded. You don't have to do anything else except put the rest of this stuff in there. Now you want to take it again and put it aside in a warm place for 1 hour, and make sure you cover it. Every time that you touch the dough, whether it's with this recipe or a different recipe, you want to make sure that you let it rise another hour. Every time that you touch it, it has to rise another hour. Okay, so we're just going to put this in a warm place. We're going to cover it again with the clean towel. We're going to wash our hands, and we will then come back in 1 hour. Okay? All right. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our bread. Remember, we are making the no-knead bread. Now, when we made the bread a little while ago and we put it off to the side to let it rise for 1 hour, covered with a clean cloth, and then we put it in the oven. You put it in the oven, start it at about 475, 480, and let the oven warm up, of course. Put the bread in the oven without the cover, and cook it for about bake it for about 15 minutes. Then turn the oven heat down to 450 and bake it for about 45 minutes. Watch it. You want to, don't open the oven. You just want to turn the light on and watch to make sure that it's browning. Of course, if it's browning too much, you want to turn it down or take it out. And then when you take it out, there's a couple of things that you do to make sure that it is ready to eat and it has baked all the way. Now, if you remember, we folded the bread over 4 different times, and then we put it into a rectangle bread pan. Do you remember that? Well, this is what it came out as. Not really. We also made another piece of, we made a round batch as well. This is a round batch. But when you take it out, you want to turn it over and just see if it springs right back. Just touch it to make sure that it's cooked. So doesn't that look delicious? I'm going to put it on a nice plate, and then you want to cut it. And what we did before we baked it was we took a knife and you just crisscross it, just to give it some character, make it nice, and it will balloon up some and be really pretty. So we're just going to cut it, and we're going to have a slice of this bread. And if you notice, it has all the little holes in it. That means that the gases were used the way they're supposed to. The yeast turns into gases and it makes these little holes in it. So it makes it good. What we're going to do is we're going to take some fresh jam that we also made at a different time, and we're going to just spread that right on the bread, and then we're going to taste it. And here we go. Delicious. Very good. So enjoy. Really good. Enjoy making your bread. Very, very easy. I just suggest that you start it the night before so that it has time to raise that 8 or 9 hours. And then the next morning you can just follow through with everything that we did. And enjoy your bread. Invite people over. Have it with dinner. Make your sandwiches. Whatever you'd like, but enjoy. We'll see you another time for Living Well seminars. And the last thing I want to say is that Jesus said that I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. That's John 6, verse 35. Jesus is our bread. God bless you.